At this point in your writing careers, you've learned a lot about what makes for powerful narrative stories. And you've learned so much that there really isn't too much more for you to learn when it comes to techniques. So rather than worrying about what else there is to learn, why not using all that you already have learned at once? Making your writing really powerful, punchy, and strong, and interesting for your readers to read. Let me just remind you of a few things that will make any writing piece extra powerful. You definitely learn about show, not tell. Writers will show and not tell what's going on. Instead of telling them what is happening, they try to recreate it for them. And they might use some techniques like these: writing in a specific tone of voice, saying facial expressions that are on the character's faces, naming big body actions, small body actions, dialogue, thinking, you might think inner thinking, sensory detail, setting detail, strong verbs. These are just a few things that you know. There's probably so much more. So right now, I'm going to show you how I try to not just use a few of these things, but almost all of these things all the time whenever I write. So watch me as I go back into my writing and try to take a part and stretch it out to use more at once. Okay, so this is my piece by my grandpa. So right now, I'm just rereading actually some of it. And I stopped at a part where I thought, maybe I'm just kind of like skipping through this really fast, or maybe this could be longer. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to start to think, what could I add? What details could I use to really bring this to life, to stretch it out? And using all that I've learned, not just a couple of the things I've learned. All of a sudden, I remembered that my grandpa had mentioned going swimming. I must have been asleep when he said it. This made me feel so nervous. Okay, I don't need to just tell my readers that I felt nervous. I could show that, right? I also could probably show them my memory of my grandpa saying this. Maybe I could say something like, all of a sudden, mind went back. Want to go for a dip? I replayed my grandpa's voice. What am I doing right now? I'm doing a flashback to show a memory. But I'm also using some dialogue. I'm using some thinking to really convey that. Replayed my grandpa's voice in my head. Then, let's see, what can I use? Maybe some like actions, some strong verbs. Then, like a knife to the core. I remembered he had wanted to go swimming. Maybe some inner thinking. No. Oh, how about some action to show like now that I realize this, what do? I literally look at the beach and I think, oh, I gotta go get him. I look back at the water and maybe some inner thinking. You see, I'm really looking back and forth at the chart here to use as much as I possibly can at once. So right now, what I would like you to do is I would like you to pull up this chart or any other chart that tells you some techniques that you've learned. And I want you to use this kind of a chart as if it were a checklist, going into the different paragraphs of your story and checking off to make sure that you've done all of this stuff. So right now, start by rereading your writing, get this chart out nearby, and just make sure that every part, every scene has a lot of stuff, a variety of stuff. Look back and forth, just like how you saw me do, to bring that writing to life using more than what you've done in the past, calling on all you know to really make your writing powerful. I can't wait to read it. It's going to be